Okay, basically, I think that what the court did, the order from Justice G.V. Obomanu is about nullifying the local government and state congresses held. But to us, as a party, we're not surprised. We anticipated it, taking into consideration that a lot of efforts have been put in place to stopping the APC from getting reorganized. Unfortunately, he fell for it, and he had to do the hatchet job accordingly. So we're not surprised, because our court, our lawyers did defend our interests, and the way he was attacking our lawyers and even nearly refusing them to land on any explanations they were giving, it was clear that he was headed to somewhere that came to the judgment.
So you are rejecting the judgment, basically?
Well, we are not happy with it because we feel that it's an abuse of court process. We believe that he cannot sit on appeal on a decision that had already been reached by the superior courts of Court of Appeal and that of the Supreme Court. So what we'll do is that our lawyers have been instructed to go ahead and appeal and take it upstairs so they'll be able to set it aside, and we continue.
In your statements, which you released?
Well, this is a one-off thing. The Justice G.V. Obomanu is not the judiciary. He's just one out of the many. I'd like to make it clear here that cannot impugn on the characters and integrity of impeccable judges in the judiciary. It will be easy to know that we have in the judiciary men and women of impeccable integrity. And we also do have some who have compromised their integrity and have decided to be corrupted to doing hatchet jobs for their paymasters.
So, in your view, where does Justice Obomanu fall into?
In my view, it is my belief that Justice Obomanu, who hails from the same village with the governor of Rivers State, we believe that Justice Obomanu, who is an Opobo man, is an Ebani man, is pandering to the whims and caprices of the government of Rivers State, led by Governor Fubara. That's our view.
Well, you haven't shown us any evidence to prove this. You're making an allegation.
Well, we will, when the time comes, we'll put our papers on ground, yeah.
The governor is not a member of your party. So why are you fingering the governor in issues that are basically happening in the APC? Okay,
the governor is the head of the government in Rivers State. So every decision that comes from the governor must be accused because the buck stops on his table. You'd recall that about a week ago, the national chairman of the APC, Alhaji Umar Ganduje, was here in Port Harcourt to inaugurate the newly elected state executive committee of the party, headed by Chief Tony Okocha and someone like me and others. So you know that the comment from the national chairman was to elicit a response. And the governor, national chairman of APC did say in that interview that APC had succeeded in taking over most of the PDP states, particularly in the South, that they just succeeded in taking over Edo State from the grip of those who held sway, Obaseki and others in PDP, and it has gone to Monday Okpebelo of the APC, and that the next target, in fact, let me use the word, he did say that the next state is to capture Rivers State. You know, the word capture. And then that is a task that must be done. So having said that, he has threatened the position of the governor and the government of Rivers State. And this is the response that it has elicited.
Okay. I'm still looking at your statement. You said that the injunction was not served on the defendants. That is what you said.
Clearly.
Never served on the defendants.
Yes.
How so?
Yeah,
if I could have seen it, I saw it days before. It was dated 19th November 2024. How come your people did not see it?
No, you don't read the court papers. You don't read court papers on the news, on the pages of newspapers and social media, except as directed by the court. If the court says publish this process on the dailies. That's the only way you can say you saw something. Otherwise, for there to be a matter that you respond to, you must be served. You must be put on notice so you can defend yourself. And this was not done, even though someone did swear to an affidavit, a bailiff, to the fact that he went to national headquarters of the APC at about 2:30, and that by 4 o'clock he had returned to the state. It's suspicious. It's not possible for him to have flown from Abuja, from Port Harcourt to Abuja at 2:30. From 2:30, he had got to the airport, and then he had arrived Port Harcourt. It's questionable. You know what it takes to travel from Port Harcourt to Abuja and then back to Port Harcourt. You know what it takes. So even though he concocted that, but the fact is that we were not served. And the issues, the motions were raised in the court before Obama to say that this matter, that we were not served and that he needed to give us opportunity to be served. He refused. More so, motions and applications were also made calling the attention of the justice to the fact that this matter is pending before a court of appeal. You know, and he sidestepped it. You know, what the judiciary or the judge or the courts call judicial impertinence was what he was stepping on, and he went ahead to do. So look at it again. He did say that he had awarded a course, he had set aside this, and then that he has adjoined Senate die. That shows you that it's a hatchet job, because if you have taken a position, if you are given a judgment or a ruling or an order, like he did give an order, you should provide the people an ample opportunity to be able to appeal.
Okay. Let's talk. Apparently, you're bringing the judiciary. The judgment goes in your favor. You're happy about it. But when it doesn't go in your favor, the appearance is as if the judge that gave the judgment against you is questionable. I'm going to give examples. I do recall that a couple months ago, in August precisely, I think August 14th or thereabouts, a judge, Justice Akrioku, sacked the caretaker. You will remember. And specifically, one of the orders was stop parading yourself as chairman, stop parading yourself as secretary, and stop parading yourselves as caretaker committee. That judgment was never obeyed. I do know for a fact that the NWC went on to say, oh, we will continue to recognize, and you continue to parade yourselves as caretaker committee in flagrant disobedience to that court judgment, right? Now, there are also other judgments which you, the caretaker, have come out to say, oh, the governor must obey, or this judgment must obey. From a third-party point of view, it looks like there's some level of hypocrisy. When the judgment is in our favor, oh, yes, it's fine. But when it's against us, oh, no. Why is that like that?
No, it's not correct. What is correct is the fact that judgments that do not follow due processes, that emanate from abuse of court processes, will be criticized. You are aware that there is a subsisting Supreme Court judgment which barred courts from interfering in internal affairs of political parties. And if that's the case, from the most superior court in Nigeria, and then other inferior courts will begin to make others judgments and rulings that tend to sit on appeal on the decision that had been taken by the Supreme Court. So that calls for question, shows that there is more to it than meets the eyes. And it also shows that these persons or these judges who are taking to this, even after all the warnings from the NJC as well as the CJN, they have continued to tread that. So it goes to show that they have something up their sleeves. The position of the APC is that we obey the rules, we obey the court judgments. You recall recently that there is a court judgment from the Court of Appeal where we went to challenge the local government election. And the Court of Appeal said, ruled against us. And we came out publicly with the address that we will obey it because that's not the final court. And then we'll go upstairs. We have done so. And this particular, in this particular instance, Justice G.V. Obomanu's decision or ruling will also be tested. And not perturbed because we believe that this is just the court of first instance. We'll go to superior courts and vacate it. If you'd recall, there was also an ex parte order from Olo, Justice Olo, which tended to stop our congresses. It was initially fixed for the October, and when that ruling came, we stopped the congresses and fixed it for another time. And another time we fixed was when we got a reprieve from the Court of Appeal, which set aside the rulings of the State High Court. It was on the basis of that we went into our congresses. So our congresses did not take place because we violated court rulings or court judgments. We had court rulings from a superior court of law, from the Court of Appeal. The national chairman does not have powers to dissolving any executive committee, but the National Working Committee and the National Executive Committee do have such powers. And when such powers are exercised, they are exercised according to the provisions of law. Now, let me also tell you, there is a provision in our Constitution wherein the National Working Committee does have power to form committees for the good governance and management of the party. If the party ESCO in a particular state runs foul of the constitutional provisions, the National Working Committee, having gotten powers donated to them from the National Executive Committee, do have powers to setting up committees, including caretaker committees for the good governance of our political parties. And in this case, that was exactly what happened in Rivers State, because the erstwhile ESCO had problems. Firstly, you'd recall that within the executive, they could not manage themselves. They had internal wranglings within their rank and file, which led to the suspension of the then chairman of the party, Emeka Bekee. And they went to court and validated that suspension.
The person who went to court has withdrawn his case.
I'm saying that was an after-time coming. That was the position of the court. And that was the position of the party. It was on the basis of that the party set up a caretaker committee. Long time before, politics about alliances and counter-alliances, before they now went into an alliance with the Rivers State government to say that they have withdrawn. But the ship had already sailed.
Questions you will remain.
Yes.
Which you have not answered. Has the Court of Appeal vacated that judgment? Because no matter how terrible a judgment is, it must be obeyed.
Yes.
So, has the Court of Appeal vacated the judgment that sacked Chief Tony Okocha and the caretaker committee and reinstated Emeka Bekee?
Well, there are a plethora of court judgments and rulings, a plethora of, and in some cases, the caretaker committee was stopped. In other cases, the caretaker committee was also asked to go ahead by courts of coordinate jurisdictions and even by a court of appeal. So these are the issues. And until we begin to look at them one after the other, the one that's above the other. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying with respect to that, Court of Appeal being aware of this decision you're mentioning, also gave a go-ahead for APC to go ahead with their congresses. So, the same Court of Appeal. So what do you do?
No. Sorry. Like I said.
Yes.
So finally, in conclusion, so we don't waste a lot of time. What is the next thing? I mean, your Congress has been nullified. So what next for you now?
Yeah. Firstly, do not fret, because Justice Obamanu's court is just a court of first instance. It's not a final court. And we have taken the matter upstairs. Like I told you, we have already instructed our lawyers to go on appeal to the Court of Appeal. After that, whatever the outcome is, if the Court of Appeal rules in our favor, they will proceed to the Superior Court, which is the Supreme Court. And if he rules against us, we test it to the final court. So we are not worried. This is a temporary setback, and we are sure, based on the based on the laws that we know, that APC will come out strong. Like I did say, that these are all part of the 2027 politics, wherein those who have been frustrated in the APC in Rivers State, those who have lost out completely based on their anti-party activities, as well as having lost the structures of the party, have aligned with the Rivers State government and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and others, to see whether they can find a way to get in on our sleeves, getting under our skin.
Now the Court of Appeal
Yes.
Are you going to obey this judgment?
No, we have always obeyed court judgments. We have always obeyed court judgments. So that's what I said. We have asked our lawyers to do the needful to ensure that they question the jurisdiction of the court under Justice Obomanu, and to also do everything possible to ask for stay of execution of that judgment. So that's where we are now. My pleasure, Luis.